this is the biggest offseason decision by far. They are going to send the franchise in one direction or the other based on what they do.
Coller, I'll start off by letting out the disclaimer that this might get a couple people angry, and the red rage guy from Inside Out might be firing on all cylinders in people's heads. Should the Vikings consider bringing back Kirk Cousins next season after how the end of this season has played out?
Yeah, I think what the Green Bay Packers game really showed, and I guess this goes for the last couple of games, is that there are a lot of parts of this roster that need to be under construction. So when you look at Danielle Hunter's situation, the defensive line in general, DJ Wanham is a free agent as well. Jordan Hicks is a free agent. We're not sure of the status of Harrison Smith going forward. And the cornerbacks really got a little bit exposed in the last couple of games by Amon-Ra St. Brown, by T. Higgins, and by the Green Bay Packers passing game. They need difference makers on the defensive side. And on offense, they have foundational pieces that are well above average in Justin Jefferson and Christian Darrisaw and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson, but they also have a free agent left guard who's been good for them in Dalton Reisner. That's going to cost money if they want to bring him back. Their number 3 and number 4 wide receivers are also free agents. And I think if you're talking about building around a quarterback, you're looking to stack up as many weapons as you possibly can. So the question that they have to answer is, how do you address all those needs that I just ripped off while also paying the quarterback a pretty penny? And when you go through the league, there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, and not everybody's going to be able to draft one. A lot of teams at the top of the draft need quarterbacks as well. So there will be interest in Kirk Cousins, regardless of the Achilles injury. If you look at Atlanta, if you look at Pittsburgh, you look at the Raiders, there's a lot of teams that can make that case for, if we just had a good quarterback, then we would be much deeper in the playoffs, much more of a threat, and so forth. Kind of teams that were in the same position as the 2018 Vikings. If we just have a quarterback, ... I don't know that the answer is for this Vikings roster if you just have a quarterback. Maybe a few weeks ago, you could have tried to talk yourself into that with close losses with backup quarterbacks in there. But I think what we saw over the 17-game sample is there is a lot of weaknesses here, and there's a lot of things to be addressed. So if they do bring back Kirk Cousins, they have to do it on the right number and the right number only that allows them to still build this roster to compete with the San Franciscos of the world, the Dallas, the Philadelphia, and the other teams in the NFC North that are building their rosters and have through the draft for years, like Chicago, like the Detroit Lions. And now, Green Bay's got their quarterback to build around as well. So I think that if they're going to do it, they are towing a very difficult line that the previous regime failed to be able to come through with. The other factor is here, if they lose against the Lions, you're talking about a pretty high draft pick that puts them within shouting distance of a potential trade up, or maybe even a quarterback just drops to them in that somewhere between 9 to 12 range, depending on the outcome. That is right there where you want to try to get a quarterback. And if you don't think you're going to be drafting there too many years in the future, this might be the opportunity, the best opportunity that they have to do so. So this is the biggest off-season decision by far. They are going to send the franchise in one direction or the other based on what they do. But I think it sort of leans toward building the complete roster and trying to get another quarterback, which is why they didn't extend Cousins last offseason. But if they do, that means he probably took a hometown discount to stay.
That's been another Purple Insider Extra for Bring Me the Sports. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the Purple Insider Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Talk to you next time.